Hi everybody, welcome to Attack with LarryC. I'm your host, Larry Christiansen. And before we get to the main game I want to cover today, and continuing tribute to the late, great Walter Browne, first I want to show a remarkable, it's kind of a subtle but remarkable manufactured attack in the game between the late Anthony Miles and the renowned attacking player Aleksander Shabalov. Shabalov is a very interesting player. His games are very entertaining and informative at the same time. And I was going through a little set of his games, and this little clip against Tony Miles really stood out because we start out here after White's 21st move. Position does not look particularly remarkable. All knights on the board. White has some pressure against Black's pawns. Notably, he's got a potential threat especially to the D pawn. Now, Black does have some attacking potential here, thanks to the strong outposted knight on E4 and the healthy configuration of the queen and the rook, and all the Black's pieces are quite well placed, with one possible exception. That's the rather passive position of the knight on D7. Let's see how Shabalov here handled this quiet but potentially explosive position. First of all, he determines where White has a weakness, and the weakness in this position happens to be this square on B4. So Shabalov plays knight b8, excellent move. The knight now stands ready to come to c6, where it'll apply pressure to White's center. Also, the pawn on d5 is now covered by the rook. Now Miles says, well, thanks for giving me the outpost on e5. But that's looks impressive, but here comes Shabalov playing knight a6, ready to jump into b4. Now, if he clears the rook away from c2, that may open up the c file to Black's benefit. So here, for Miles to continue the game, he really needs to get rid of this knight on e4. What does he do? He plays f3. And this was no doubt anticipated by Shabalov, who immediately uncorks knight b4. The point of this move is, if White gets greedy with f takes e4, Black plays f takes e4, threatening mate on f1. White creates a loophole with h3. Now, timing is everything in chess. And now Black would play c takes d4. Then, if e takes d4 forced, Black wins with knight takes c2. Then, if knight takes c2, queen f2 check, king h2, rook c8 is too much for White to handle. And if queen takes c2, Black plays queen f1 check, king h2, queen f4 check, king h1, and then queen e3, and White is paralyzed, threatening mate or a decisive attack. With rook f1 check, White really has no defense. So in view of that, Miles here played rook b2, and Shabalov plays c takes d4, e takes d4, and now seizes the c file with rook c8, putting Tony Miles in a tough predicament. What to do? Well, as it turns out, Tony made the wrong choice here in this critical moment. Of course, he cannot play queen b1 because of the fork knight c3, and queen e3 is destroyed by f4, forcing the queen to a very unfortunate spot like e2. And what about queen f4? Well, that gets destroyed in similar fashion with g